We're looking at Helena Potvayova with Agore. They come from Slovakia and they're underway. Now see these turns, my word, there's a lot of very difficult turns to do. And a fault there for stepping off the dog walk early, but you see they double back on themselves so often. They're going well. Change sides, got another contact point failure there. Obviously a fault for this dog. Is it going to do it again? Not quite. Very nearly slid off too soon. Oh, and a fault there. So they've got 15, I make it, I think.
Yep, nicely into the weaving poles. Probably one of the most testing areas of the course is going across the weaving poles. Just managing to keep it off the start jump.
Round to 19, then back across there to the finish. 38.86, but with 20 faults.
Missing the dog walk then by quite a margin. She won't be too happy with that.
And there's knocking off the bar at the end.
A little bit of indecision.
It's a tough little course, this. It really is an intricate one. Next we have from Finland, Tulia Liuto. Promilen Cinzano Punzi is the name of the dog. It's Punzi for short, a 3-year-old border collie. Finnish agility champion, this one.
Lovely tight turn there.
It is, isn't it? That's an awkward one, that first one. Very easy for the dogs to run away with it.
And then as they come off the dog walk page, you see that it's confronted by both ends of the tunnel, so she did well to keep her out the tunnel there. Push out.
Good jump out. Left and right opportunities to get it wrong.
Now this is the bit, Peter. They've got to go from there across the weaves. That was nicely done. There's a lot to distract them as they go across there. Very nicely executed.
And now coming up to the last stages, last 3 obstacles. Soft tunnel, round, trying to cut the corner rather tight, but they're there. It's a good time, 42.69, no faults, clear round.
That was very nicely done. Look at this, they wrap round that wing there. Not a lot of time wasted, as you can see. Does a nice turn into the waves. Look at that.
Sergio Souza from Portugal next.
Took a bit of a tumble in the last round, Peter.
He did. He fell over. He tripped over his dog, bless him.
Oh, and he's unfortunately been eliminated.
Elimination straight away. That's careless. But it is an awkward start.
You have to recall the dog between the 2 jumps. I don't know whether it's quite as evident looking at it in on the flat screen TV there, but it's, as I say, you've got to go between 2 wings. Quite a difficult start, but never mind. As I say, I spoke to him in the interval. He's got a smile on his face. He's loving being here, Peter.
And he's completing the course with the dog. Let the dog think that it's doing well, and it is, of course, but it's actually made a mess early on. Maybe it was his fault.
Not everybody.
Didn't bring the dog around.
Not everybody gets a chance to compete at DFS Crufts, the biggest and best dog show in the world. Look at that, very nice, nice finish. Well done, Sergio.
But all in vain, 100 faults. So next from Norway, we've got Hanna Ilibicek.
With the
Pan
Bedlington.
is the name of the dog, yes, Bedlington Terrier. 6.5 years old, almost a veteran, this dog.
But as you say, 6.5 years of age, it's probably a bit like you and I, Peter, just coming into our prime, doing very well. This is the 2010 Norwegian champion.
It is, they come from Oslo, of course, capital of Norway.
Dogs will go on for years and years. They'll tell you when they want to stop, but this dog's got plenty of life left in it. It does very well.
And the speed that they're going, they're not terribly fast over the ground here. This little dog's quite sedate.
Again, it very much depends on what it's used to been running on, Peter. If it's used to been running on grass or some other sort of surface, this really can have an effect on them, because this artificial grass is quite strange to them.
He's chatting all the way around, isn't he? And watching the contact point, nearly slipped off it, but did make it. Yes, handled nicely, bringing the dog on. She's keeping up there, making sure. Oh, refusal. So 5 there for the refusal. It's only a slight refusal, but it's a refusal.
Right, you saw Nancy Hudson actually raise her hand with a clenched fist. A clenched fist is a sign of a refusal. An open hand is 5 ordinary faults. But there we are, nice finish there.
Well, I'm 54.44 with 16.44 faults.
over the seesaw nice and carefully. It must touch the ground before they get off.
So, of course, they had time faults. That's what happened there.
And there we go. The Isle of Man Supporters Club. They've made the trip to come and support their dog and handler.
Sharon Dukas come from Douglas, that lovely little port on the England side of the Isle of Man. Molly the Collie is the registered name.
Great name.
Oh, I see. Oh, where are we here?
There we are. She just chose to go the other way around the jump. Slightly riskier, but because you're confronted with the entrance to the weaving poles, but worked for her, as they say.
This little dog is a rescue dog. It had been very ill-treated, and Sharon started agility to socialise the dog and build its confidence. Well, it's worked. These dogs have to have confidence to appear here in this ring with about 5,000 people packed around, watching it. Massive competition for them.
Nicely into the weaves.
It's gentle. They're going to have time faults. We've got time faults now.
Oh, get it off there. Well done. Sorry about that, Peter. I mean, you could almost call that double handling if she could hear me. Well done.
But she couldn't. 55.34 with 17.34 time faults.
Round the back. Nothing wrong with what she did going around that wing that way. As I say, as long as she doesn't take wrong course or have a refusal, you can go whichever way round you want to.
And let's see which way Liam O'Brien's going to go with Mojo. This Border Collie, 5 years old. As we said, none of these can win the overall competition, so they've got a little sort of B final going on.
He's going round the way the others have gone. Taking him round that way, you open up the other end of the tunnel, but nicely done. And this is very cautious down here.
It does a running...
well, he thought he was going in the tunnel.
Didn't he? Yes, yes. He held on to it really well. See how it does a runner straight off the end of this.
Picking up 5.
Too soon, came off 5 points.
And unfortunately, the wrong side of jump 9.
Wrong side of the jumps, and over all sorts of wrong ways now. Eliminated. Bye-bye. What a shame for him. That's Liam.
He's still smiling. Look at him. He's got a smile on his face. That's all you can do, Peter, I'm afraid, out there. It's, you'd cry otherwise sometimes.
You? Let's bite the bullet.
But you, as I say, this is probably doing him a disjustice, because I know this dog is a lot better than he's displaying here, and he knows it. He's just going to enjoy himself. Stop the clock. Go on. There you go. That's all. Peter, I've been there, trust me. It can be really embarrassing, but dogs are dogs, and all you can do is smile.
Once it had gone seriously wrong and been eliminated, it did every single jump wrong.
As I said several times, once it starts to go wrong, all you're doing then is thinking about your original mistake, and then you're not thinking about the rest of the course. Anyway, so we've got Daniel G now.
Yes, from South Africa. Meg is the name of the dog, 10.5 years old. So a real veteran. 10.5 is a good age.
Had a good look at the tunnel there, but he kept her off it. It's not a problem.
Representing South Africa here, actually members of the Thames Dog Training Club. They're clear so far.
Nicely done.
This is nice, and it's quick.
Pull through.
They'll be disappointed that they're not in for the main competition here, because they were disqualified in one of the 2 events earlier today, and if they're disqualified in any of those events, they can't compete for the actual overall. 3 options. Oh, there's an elimination. Oh dear. They were going very well, but straight off, missed out the soft tunnel. Not a shame.
Well done, Daniel.
Going very well then.
Did a little hop, skip and a jump just to show his frustration, but now we see the chairman of the Kennel Club enjoying this international class agility.
And in a moment, the leader is from Finland in this little B final that we've got going on here. But now we're coming up to Jenny Dam. Did a terrific performance in the second competition, the agility competition this afternoon, from Gothenburg in Sweden. Ina is the name of the bitch that she's running, 5 years old, Border Collie. A certificated sheepdog, means it's registered. It isn't Jenny's dog either. Started to run her when her friend was pregnant and she's carried it on. And now keeping close. She does control the dog well and from quite a distance at times.
She does it very well, Peter. I mean, if she's available, I'd like her to handle a couple of my dogs as well. But she's a very experienced competitor, a member of the gold winning team at the World Championships last year. Internationally renowned,
And
is
talking
Jenny.
to the dog the whole time.
Unusual there, see her running backwards. Not many people do that. Ooh. Yep,
Got the
Nancy
penalty.
thought about
Nancy
it.
saw it. Yeah, she had a think. No, that's a foul.
See, she came around the other side of that jump as well, just to make it slightly easier. Very nice. Catch a turn.
Oh,
Explain
quick
those later.
Very
Wow,
quick.
Jenny, well done.
41.82 with 5. Puts them in second place at the moment in this little B final.
Look at that. Here we go. Running backwards there. Catch a turn. And the seesaw. And you see the judge just thought about that, replayed it in her mind, made a decision. Good,
The
good
seesaw
call.
hadn't dropped, and that's what it has to do. Mark van Beek now from Brecht in Belgium with Fielo, Border Collie, 4 years old. First agility dog was actually an Alaskan Malamute. My words, a big dog to be running. Now it's the Border Collie. Something else different, very different, I would think. Oh, and jumped off that A-frame. A bit careless, that.
Had a stunning jumping round this morning, Peter. Unfortunately picked up an elimination in the second round. But a good dog, nevertheless, you have to be.
He's the last of the dogs to go in this sort of B final. They can't win the overall competition, but we'll see where he ends up in this. 3 obstacles to go. Soft tunnel, over the jump and round, and into the finish. It's not a bad time. 42, but it's got 5. Puts him in 3rd place of that little group. But next we're going to come to the main competition. All starting from scratch, nothing referenced from earlier. We have 7 competitors going for this final international challenge. Any of these can win the event.
Lots of Scottish support, Peter. They really do know how to support their compatriots.
They got the flags out again.
Yep.
Yes, I'm sure they have. This is an Australian Kelpian Border Collie for Bonnie Quick. Haley is the name of the dog. Come from Inverary.
And again, opting to turn right over 2. Bit steady down the dog walk. A little bit of time lost there.
Straightforward dog from a farm dog from up in Scotland, actually.
This is interesting. She's on the right-hand side of the A-frame. She's going to have to cross behind the dog. Nicely done.
Dog's looking for her, isn't he? Every time.
Yeah,
He's
just
watching.
a touch
Very
wide there.
careful. It's dropped nicely. Watch, watch, watch. He turns his head to look every time. He's looking, but ooh, yeah.
Possible indication that she's just a touch late with her commands. If the dog's looking for a command, it means that she's possibly a touch late. But push out now. Well done. That was lovely. Fantastic.
Clear round. 46.04 for Scotland.
3.04
There are the
time,
flags.
folks.
There, please. 3.04.
And this
time,
is where
folks.
she's lost a touch of time on these contacts. Just slightly slow down there. Wide turn over there. Again, the dog looking at her.
Oh, very well done, Bonnie.
Oh, look, they're worried now. Is our 3 faults going to be good enough? She's worried.
Right, this is Yvette von Mitchen from Leverkusen in Germany with Ella, 5.5-year-old small Munsterlander, kleiner Munsterlander.
Oh, just a bit of a slip as it came out the tunnel there. It was unfortunate.
Hasn't cost them anything, but time. A little bit of time, and maybe a little burn to the pads.
Okay. Can she get a tight turn? Yes, she can. No
She's
time
got
lost there.
good control, but they're not going terribly fast.
Pull in again, sending it to the weaves. Oh,
Nope.
unsure. Lack of communication there. That's what that was about.
Just cost time, no points lost. They are clear, and I don't think they're going to be quick enough. No, they're not. Not a chance of that.
Time faults
They
kicking
have
in
got
now.
time faults. Too many time faults. 49.66 with 11.66 time faults.
There we go, coming round now towards the dog walk.
next competitor is for the Netherlands. This is Roy Fontaine from Brunssen in the Netherlands. Flynn is the name of this little border collie bitch, 6 years old. The Dutch champions in 2008. Well, it's 3 years on from that. How good are they going to be today?
Describes her as a once-in-a-lifetime dog, Peter. As I say, it is very good. I've seen this dog work before. Again, he's making sure that he's there for the dog, trying to stay in front of it as much as he can all the time. Pushes it out, makes sure he gets there. And again, right on top of the dog. Slows down, makes sure the dog gets the contact, pulls through.
And it's not a bad time they're doing. Can they get into the weave properly? No question of the dog wondering where he's supposed to go. Knows.
This could be our first clear for these qualifiers. Keep going, come on.
Done it in the time. Yes, they have. 41.54. No time faults. No faults at all. 41.54. Roy Fontaine and Flynn for the Netherlands.
Lovely round. I mean, that's now going to set the benchmark for the others to follow. You can see this. He doesn't waste a time at all. Look at him. He's there for the dog. No breakdown in communication.
And now we've got Andrea Gilpin. So we've got a Northern Ireland competitor here. Glencooley Ruby Wiz. Lovely name that, isn't it? Ruby for short, working sheepdog, 5.5 years old.
So just Andrea needs to attack this course. Oh, and as I say that,
it's an elimination. I think she just touched, went into the poles, and that's an elimination. That's such a shame for them. I've got to say they were going slowly, but all right, nicely under control.
But again, PTC, the dog coming down the end of the dog walk quite so slowly, it knew that things had gone wrong at the beginning of the dog walk because she'd corrected it and pulled it out of the weaves and made it do a dog. So there's now immediately doubt in the dogs, and it's all about trying to keep the dog happy and enthusiastic, and that's what Andrea will do. She's a lovely girl, know her quite well. And she'll be disappointed, absolutely, and you know you couldn't fail to be. But she'll keep going. She'll ask the dog to do it properly because this is now what's going to give the dog that little added confidence. Again, as you can automatically see, it's starting to work just a bit better with a bit more confidence, and that's what she wants. She doesn't want it remembering a bad experience.
Their
that's
first
fantastic.
time at Crufts, they finished the course, but not particularly well. Didn't cover themselves with glory, but they pleased the audience here. This is Mark Douglas now from Pontypridd in Wales. Slightly parochial finish, isn't it? We've got here. We've got Northern Ireland, Wales, and England before we come to the USA. Who's the last to go?
I think now we'll start to see the sparks fly. I'm not sure, as I said to you earlier on, that we actually saw Mark open this dog up. He will. He takes the attitude that nobody remembers who gets second, so he'll want to win this. He's taken the short route. That's lovely.
These are quick. This is an Australian working Kelpie. It's 8 years old. It's called Ruby. Nice bitch.
That is it down. He's got to get it across the face. Does that nicely. Pivot turns. Gets ahead. Look how far in front he is.
On the clock. The dog's moving over the ground very quickly.
Just having a bit of trouble getting a bit of traction, but not a lot of time wasted here. He'll try and straighten this out as much as he can. Leads the dog away to the weaving poles. Nicely done.
Very neat. Time's good. I'm not sure it's going to be quick enough. Is it? 41.54 to beat. It's not going to be good enough. It's not quick enough.
Wow.
No.
How about that? That's surprising.
44.17. They've got 1.17 time faults.
He comes out, he shakes his head. He knows it's not good enough. The dog just seemed to be having a bit of trouble getting a bit of traction there. I think it cost him, and I think he knew it as well. You know when you've had a stunning round. However, did you hear that cheer, Peter?
I did indeed, because we've got our English representative. This is Laura Chudley from Brinkworth in Wiltshire with Rodney. This 3-year-old border collie dog, FLICKCEE Hot Rod.
Reigning Olympia champion, which is why she was selected to come to this event. And we're away.
Is she going to be quick enough? We have a terrific time set. Might not be quick enough. They've got to go.
She's got running contact, so we'll see. Yep, look at that.
Oh, very nice, but
it, again, it sent her wide.
It did, didn't it? Cost them probably half a second there. They're about the same time as we just saw from Mark. Oh,
Dear
an
me.
elimination. Wrong course, my word, what a disappointment. Oh, that is a massive disappointment.
It is, and it will be to her as well, but she'll get on with the job, hopefully. Say, she doesn't want to let the dog know it's done wrong. She'll go and stop the clock, hopefully. Yep, she does.
Well,
and now all she'll want to do is get out.
The Netherlands are in the lead with Wales in second place and Scotland in third place. And England, nowhere. Last one to go, though, is from America, and I'm not taking bets that they don't win it. Having seen them before, Daisy Peel with Solar. Solar, 3-year-old Border Collie. Super Son is its registered name, just 3 years old. It's already a 3-time national champion in the United States.
You know how I was enthusing in the last round.
Enthusiasm,
I was infusing. But this is a totally separate round. We just have to see. It's a different course. We'll just have to now see how we go. You can see the dog on the start line there. Can't quite understand what's happening.
They're just checking the clock. The clock's not stopping at the right time at the moment. They're just checking the end of it.
She'll just steady the dog down now. We'll be asking it to pay attention in just a minute. They've had starters' orders. Okay.
This dog represented the United States in the 2010 World Championship. And the clock hasn't started, so it has started. I was going to say,
just a touch wide there. Nice verbal call. She gets to the end to stop the dog going in. As long as she doesn't deliberately touch it, she's okay.
And this is another dog that's doing those running contact. Oh, yes.
No time wasted.
Oh, yes.
But she trusts the dogs, Peter, so she can get the best position for the next obstacle. Make sure the seesaw.
I'm not certain she's fast enough, but, well, we've got to see. 41.54 is the time to beat. She's got 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds, 8 seconds to go. She's got 4 obstacles to go. Can she do it? She might just be able to. She won't.
No,
she's going to be behind it. She's not done it.
Well.
43.26. It's not good enough. It's only good enough for second. First place goes to the Netherlands. Second place goes to the United States. Third place to Wales. My word, what a competition. So it really is wonderful. It's reflected here with this international competition now, which we couldn't have done 5 years ago, and now we can.
Congratulating the winner from the Netherlands. I say,
Roy Fontaine, well done.
Last year's World Championships, 34 countries represented, literally every continent, but absolutely fantastic. The Dutch frequent visitors to this country, as you say. And look at that, Daisy. I'll have a chat with her later to see how she feels about it. I know on reflection, she'll realise it's a tremendous achievement. She'll be disappointed not to win. And finally, Mark Douglas, absolutely fantastic with his Kelpie. Fiercely patriotic, I know him. He'll be very pleased to have represented Wales to the best of his ability.
And the only one of the home countries to show.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.